This was the first time in a while I was on YouTube, and I'm gonna try to translate this. I'm gonna see if it's still funny at this point, but I was laughing my fucking ass off for probably a good 10, 15 minutes. Like I haven't laughed at something this hard in so long. And I have a feeling it's one of these things that it's almost like a you had to have been there type of thing. It's a had to have been there type of moment where you can describe it. It's like, this is really funny, but if you were there, it would have been even better. It might have been one of these, but I'm gonna try to translate it. We'll see if I can do this. I like The Sopranos. I've watched the series multiple times. It's one of the best out there. It's one of these ones, though, that there are so many good little scenes and snippets, and the characters are so well written that all I need to do, I don't even have to watch it in its entirety anymore. I can just go and get the little clips off of YouTube. YouTube's algorithm will just feed me oh, here's a PewDiePie video. Oh, here's a video on how to do a do-it-yourself project. Oh, by the way, here's a montage collection of all of Phil Leotardo's best lines. So it's called, if you can't see it, it's called The Sopranos: Learning Fine Vocabulary Lessons from Phil Leotardo. So let's do this. Let's full screen this. So it's just a 3-minute montage of Phil Leotardo, which is this guy here. Hold on.
Say how sorry I am for your loss. We all are.
Take your fucking sorries.
This guy right here. If you haven't watched the show, it's this guy. If you watch Goodfellas, it's Billy Batts. It's just these weird little things that he says, right? These weird, and that's all it is. So it was just a way to kill 3 minutes is watching this. But then there was one in particular. Let's see, where is it at? It's this scene here. I'm going to show it to you, and this is what I've been laughing at. Okay, so let me set up the scene if you haven't seen The Sopranos. Basically, at this point in the show, Phil Leotardo, this character here, he is the new boss of New York, and he has a beef with Tony Soprano, and Tony Soprano's coming over to his house with a third party that's outside of both of these families, and they're trying to, squash the beef, right? And they come to his house thinking that they're going to have a nice meeting, and he refuses to come to the door, and then this ensues.
That's right, cocksucker. Go back to New Jersey.
Phil, what are you doing?
Take that piece of shit and get off my stoop.
But we just talked about this.
Well, cooler heads prevailed.
Uncle Philly,
my ass.
Okay, so if you go back, now that scene on its own, nothing too funny about it. I mean, it's a little childish, right? And you're like, that's a scene. So I watched this whole thing, and then I scroll down to the comments, and I just always like to see whatever the top comments are on a video I just watched. And there's this comment here, which I don't know if you can necessarily see, but it says, and I'll read it. It says, I always forget the episode where Phil turns into a house. It's one of my favorites. I read this, and then I was like, wait a minute. It fits. So let's rewatch the scene now with the idea that they go to see him, and he's turned it, forget about, and this is even better if you haven't watched the show. Imagine these two men came over, and he's like, yeah, Phil turned into a house. We got to go check on him. And he's not really being very cooperative. Just imagine he's the house.
That's right, cocksucker. Go back to New Jersey.
Phil, what are you doing?
Take that piece of shit and get off my stoop.
But we just talked about this.
Well, cooler heads prevailed.
Uncle Philly,
my ass.
You have to watch it from the perspective that it's the house that's talking. You may be watching this and be like, I don't get it. What's so funny about it? That's so stupid. I don't know either. But it struck me so hard earlier. God, I was crying as I am now. And then there's 89 replies to this comment, you know, like, totally, like, yeah, turning into a shit-talking building for an entire episode is totally something he'd do. Yeah, Phil's such a fucking asshole that he would just turn into a building and talk shit. Let's see, what's another good one? The funniest part is that he continues to curse at everyone who passes by. Like, if you walk by this house, hold on, what is the picture of the house? Like, you walk by this house, and he just talks shit to you. And then,
Well, cooler heads prevail.
Uncle Philly.
Uncle Philly, my ass.
oh my God. Oh, wait, there's more. God. This was a great one. Shang Tsung really wrote a good comment here a year ago. He goes, I wish they did more with the house. The house was one of my favorite characters. And then, yeah, someone else right here writes, get off my stoop. What are we, 9? And that's like the main thing. Like, that was the original quote before this whole thing of him turning into a house. It was like, that was a little thing like, it's a good line. It's just so silly. Like, what is he, a 9-year-old? It's like, get off my stoop. But no. He's the house. So you're standing on him. That's what makes it better. The feds could never find him when he did that. I like the idea that I like the idea that the show all of a sudden by the 6th season took this weird trajectory where Tony not only had to go up against this rival family, you know, that wants revenge for their murdered brother, but he also had the ability to shapeshift into buildings and then curse at them. He tried. I'm gonna play it again. Just watch it like that, with that context.
That's right, cocksucker. Go back to New Jersey.
Phil, what are you doing?
Take that piece of shit and get off my stoop.
But we just talked about this.
Well, cooler heads prevail.
Oh God, he compromised. He wanted to turn it. Yeah, go back from the previous quote. He compromised. He wanted to turn it into a castle. Oh my God, I'm dying. Let me tell you a couple treat things. Kamala Speckhouse said, never had the makings of a triple-story Leotardo. Oh God. Oh, there's so many good references in that. I mean, part of this, what makes this funny is you have to know the show. So if you haven't seen the show, you're probably like, I don't fucking get this. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. This is the most ingenious YouTube comment I have ever fucking read. I mean, this made a 3-minute clip, a 3-minute throwaway Sopranos montage clip, and turned it into about 10 to 15 minutes of solid entertainment. I mean, whoever this guy was that wrote this is a fucking comedic genius. This is so... Like this, just imagine this face here turned into this. Wait, turned into this. From this to this. I had to share it. I don't know if that translates. It's still funny to me. I was afraid that I would bring it up and I'd be like, "Oh my God, you ever do that where you're just like, you have something, it's so funny, and then you try to tell it to someone and then you realize as you're saying it that it's not funny, so you're not even laughing at it. It doesn't even help your cause to be like, "Yeah, isn't that funny?" even though I'm not laughing. But it's still funny to me. So that tells me that there is something to this. There is something to this. I'm going to watch it one more time. Just watch it with that understanding. Just one more time.
That's right, cocksucker. Go back to New Jersey.
Phil, what are you doing?
Take that piece
What I like is you have to watch it where he's like, Phil, what are you doing? As in, like, why are you a house? Why are you a house, Phil? Come on.
cocksucker. Go back to New Jersey.
Phil, what are you doing?
Take that piece of shit and get off my stoop.
But we just talked about this.
Well, cooler heads prevailed.
Uncle Philly.
Uncle Philly, my ass.
I'm crying. I'm fucking crying. And then as he, this is what he would say to me, or say about me because of my tears of absolute joy.
I'll tell you one thing, and I'm not ashamed to say it. My estimation of John Sacramone as a man just fucking plummeted.
And you know what? And if you don't find this funny, that's probably what you're thinking of me right now. You're just like, you know what? I thought I liked your sense of humor, but I don't. My opinion of it just completely plummeted.